It was really disappointing when I'd go through hard times in the church and things like this, and I'd really need someone to be there because I felt like hopeless and lost and things like this. And they're like, oh, just come to church on Sunday, or you'd ring them and they, other Christians were busy, and the Muslim community is completely different.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Semoga keselamatan serta rahmat Allah senantiasa meliputi kita semua, dan semoga keberkahan senantiasa kita dapatkan atas perilaku kita ya, sehingga apapun yang kita lakukan akan mendekatkan kita kepada Allah dan semakin meningkatkan ketakwaan kita kepada Allah. Nah teman-teman, alhamdulillah kali ini saya akan membagikan kembali video proses datangnya hidayah kepada seorang non muslim ya, yang awalnya dia lebih cenderung sebagai anti Islam ya, menentang Islam, namun akhirnya Allah pertemukan dia dalam kondisi di mana rekan-rekan dia yang sebelumnya menyokong dia seakan-akan tidak peduli dengan kondisi dia yang sedang terpuruk. Nah, itulah salah satu jalannya, dan bagaimana sih lengkapnya? Mari kita saksikan ya videonya.
It was really disappointing when I'd go through hard times in the church and things like this, and I'd really need someone to be there because I felt like hopeless and lost and things like this. And they're like, oh, just come to church on Sunday, or you'd ring them and they, other Christians were busy. And the Muslim community is completely different. They're there for each other when you need them. A brother or a sister is there for you. So how could I have been anti-Islam in the first place? Before I reverted back into Islam, I sit here and I think to myself, how could I have been anti-Islam in the first place? I was one of those people that was misguided when I was back when I was a kuffar, and I was misguided. I ate up a lot of the mainstream media propaganda. I ate up like watching a lot of Zionist-produced Hollywood movies that predicted Muslims as terrorists. They want to bomb things, they want to blow things up. That's all they do. They just chop off heads, they do this, they do that. So I look back at my past when I was in the anti-Islam movement 4 or 5 years ago and went, I'm going to end up becoming a Muslim myself. So I believe, in my honest opinion, that Allah put me through those trials, through the anti-Islam movement and through this, because I think He knew that even if I had hatred back then for Islam, that I was one of those people, and He knew I was one of those people that if I dislike something or I like something, I will study into it as much as possible to learn as much about it as possible. And that's what I ended up doing. I thought, okay, I'm going to go talk to some Muslims. I'm going to study right into their books, the Quran, Surah, Hadith. And then, I started reading their texts, and I read one particular passage, I remember, where it said, to kill another human being is like killing the whole of mankind and killing yourself. And I'm like, hold on a minute. Like, they're saying that, killing is wrong and all this sort of stuff. And then it talked about how the only time that a Muslim should kill or hurt another human being is when he's protecting his deen, his ummah, from attack or possible death, or defending his family or his people from invasion. That is the only time it is permitted, to do that to a person. And so I'm reading these texts and I'm like, hold on, why aren't they following these texts? I'm watching these Hollywood movies, and I'm speaking to Muslims. I met many great Muslims like Justru and other Muslims like that, and talking to those people, lovely people. You can contact them anytime, anything you need. They're there for you to talk to you. And I've talked to even some of the Christians that moved over to Islam. They said it was really disappointing when I'd go through hard times in the church, and I'd really need someone to be there because I felt like hopeless and lost. And they're like, oh, just come to church on Sunday. Or you'd ring them and they, other Christians were busy, and they say the Muslim community is completely different. They're there for each other when you need them. A brother or a sister is there for you. So if you're in a state of absolute despair, or something happens and you need your brothers there for backup, if someone's threatening to hurt you because you're a Muslim, they're only a phone call away. You get on your phone and they'll all come down there to protect you and make sure no harm comes to you. And I think that's the difference in this community, is that they just have such a tight, strong bond of a brotherhood and sisterhood. The sisters are there for each other, the brothers are there for each other, the sisters are there for the brothers are there to protect the sisters. And it's just, absolutely amazing, this community. This is Islam. This is the brotherhood of Islam. Thank you so very much. Alhamdulillah. Muslims.
Nah, bagaimana teman-teman? Ada beberapa hal yang bisa kita ambil di sini teman-teman ya, pelajaran. Yang pertama, bahwa memang benar datangnya Islam adalah untuk menyempurnakan akhlak. Di sini bahkan terlihat dari pemuka agama di luar Islam ya, yang diharapkan bisa menghadirkan nuansa-nuansa yang menenangkan hati ketika ada para penganut yang lain itu berkeluh kesah, justru tidak menunjukkan akhlak yang tepat ya. Mereka seakan tidak menghargai, tidak menyambut, tidak mengapresiasi ya, seakan tidak menganggap gitu ya adanya keluh kesah dari para jemaatnya. Nah, lain halnya dengan Islam. Di sini kita harus menghargai siapapun itu, bahkan kepada orang di luar agama kita ya, karena ada hadisnya juga, barang siapa yang mempermudah urusan orang lain, maka Allah pun akan meringankan urusan dia ya, mempermudah segala urusannya. Dan siapa yang mempersulit urusan orang lain, Allah pun akan mempersulit urusan-urusan dia. Nah, hal ini pun dijumpai oleh seorang pria non muslim ini ya, ketika bertemu rekan-rekannya yang Islam, kemudian dia berusaha untuk menceritakan apa yang sedang dia alami. Dia justru mendapatkan apresiasi yang sangat luar biasa, bahwa rekan-rekannya yang muslim ternyata sangat menyambut baik apa yang dia lakukan ya. Mereka selalu ada ketika beliau ini ingin berkeluh kesah. Lain halnya dengan yang rekan dia sendiri yang sesama non Islam. Nah, kita harus bisa mengambil pelajaran dari situ. Berdakwahlah secara langsung ya, melalui tindakan kita secara langsung, melalui perilaku kita, sehingga orang-orang akan merasakan bahwa nah inilah sesuatu yang telah mendorong orang ini berbuat begitu baik kepada sesamanya, tidak lain dan tidak bukan adalah karena ajaran Islam itu sendiri. Nah, begitu ya teman-teman ya. Dan ada juga pelajaran lain, terutama soal Allah yang punya kemampuan maha membolak-balikkan hati ya. Jadi hati-hati dengan hati ya. Allah sangat maha mampu untuk membolak-balikkan hati. Alangkah baiknya kita pun juga berdoa, semoga Allah menetapkan kondisi hati kita hingga akhir hayat kita untuk tetap memegang teguh keimanan, keislaman kita teman-teman ya. Sekian dulu dari saya, kurang lebihnya mohon maaf. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Semoga keselamatan serta rahmat Allah senantiasa meliputi kita semua, dan semoga keberkahan senantiasa kita dapatkan atas segala perilaku kita, sehingga kita pun akan dipermudah Allah ketika ingin melaksanakan amal-amal soleh lainnya. Assalamualaikum.